Hi there. So we're joined today by Barry-John and his lovely wife, Leanne. How are you doing?
Very well. How are you doing?
Okay.
Good. Thanks very much for joining us. Your journey in property has been fascinating to watch. So I think our listeners in for a real treat today. It'd be great if you could just start off with explaining what your background was before you got into property and then why you decided to take that leap.
Yeah, so I've always been around about the sort of the building industry. I had a bathroom and kitchen business a long time ago now, and at that time you're hands on the tools and you don't really think too much about the future. There's no pensions there. You're pretty much sort of month to month, and I always quite fancied it, but I always thought you had to have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Which is not true. But at that time, before we kind of understood how everything works, that was my outlook on things. And I'm just so glad that we did start to invest. And it's grew very quickly over the years.
Yeah, it has. So how did you get started? Because that's the big question. People are going to be listening thinking, okay, I'm in a similar situation. How does it get started?
Yeah, so we'd done a couple of flips when we were younger, which you think you do great because you made a like 15 grand profit. That's you. It's brilliant, but that goes very quickly. But we didn't know what other strategies were out there at that time. We thought, buy a house, do it up, sell it, make a profit. Fantastic. However, I had met yourself in Glasgow at one of the events, and it just sort of opened my eyes and nearly blew my head off with all the opportunities that I'm missing out on here. So that's how we got on board with that, and yeah, we learned a hell of a lot from that.
Well,
Now, you said, I know, you're saying we got on board, but hang on, Leanne, were you on board?
No, 100% not. I couldn't see how it was going to work. We had 3 young children, under 5, and I was shitting myself, to be honest, because he came home absolutely buzzing, wanted to put 110% into all of this, showing me facts, figures, and I'm saying it's a lot of rubbish. There's absolutely no way in God's earth that this is going to happen. This won't work. I always remember we had a lovely wee flat at the time, and I was a dental nurse on maternity leave, so money was tight. And he wanted to throw everything we had into this. And I can still remember the fear until this day, thinking, we're going to end up bankrupt. Because I just could not see how it was going to happen. But when Barry-Jon says he's going to do something, he does it with 110%. And now I can see the benefits, and I'm so glad that he did. But I'm not lying, I wasn't on board when he first came home with it all. Not at all.
Yeah, you're putting pressure on yourself at that time, financially. Just because we weren't in a place we're at today, obviously. But like Leanne says, when we're going to do something, you may as well either do it all in or not at all. Yeah. And that's always been my outlook on things.
Brilliant. And I always remember the reason Barry-Jon done it is work was we were down to our last not much money in the bank, and he hated not knowing where your next job was coming from. When you're self-employed, you don't know where your next job's going to be. And it wasn't only me and him now. We had these 2 wee boys that he felt solely responsible for because I was on maternity leave. And thinking back now, I was so invested in the boys that I didn't realise the added pressure that must have been on him at that point. It's not until you actually take a step back and look where we've come to realise how much was actually going on back. The boys are 19 and 16 now, so it was a long, long time ago.
Yeah,
it just shows.
To be honest, but at that time, I didn't really feel as though I'm getting in too deep here.
No,
I'm under pressure. It wasn't like that at all, because I could see where this was going, or it could go. I could see the opportunities there. If I was just to apply myself and take the relevant action, why couldn't we achieve that?
So you got started, and I hope you don't mind me sharing, but you got frustrated in the early days. You know, you'd got all this knowledge and so many opportunities out there, and you got really frustrated in the first what time frame would you say? 9 months so?
Yeah, probably. I think it's because you're getting all this new information, and I was quite impatient, probably, looking back. I just wanted it to happen. Why is it not happening for me? I'm seeing others, and they're kicking on, and I'm not. Am I doing something wrong? Why am I following the wrong strategy? I was just trying to do a bit of everything, and I probably got a bit overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
I just had to get that out of my system. And once I did, and I really sort of focused, just stuck to the one strategy, went after that, then started to move on and spread my wings a little bit from there.
Brilliant. So you started with what strategy? What was your focus?
The standard buy-to-lets, did buy-to-lets, and you know, the ones that we did then, we still have them in the portfolio.
Yeah.
They were good. Of course, they weren't making great cash flow per month. You know, they were, like, say, £350 to £400. That's what they get now as well. But back then, I think I'm not going anywhere fast just doing these. Yeah. However, when you really focus and get the head down and do another and another and another, before you know it, within a couple of years, you look back and you think, my God, we've got all these properties now. Yeah. Never thought we would get there. Yeah. And it's just basic, boring buy-to-lets. The refurb works is pretty much the same. The spec we do is pretty much the same. And we just kept rinse and repeat all the time. And listen, we still do that today.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. The level of transactions you do is so high, and I think everyone listening will want to know how you got to that level. So you're talking about the money side of things. How did you overcome that, financing your first few deals when you were starting from a standing start?
You need to speak to. I know this sounds so cliche, but you need to speak to everybody that you know and tell them what you're going to be doing. I remember sitting absolutely cringing, going through your phone. When Barry-Jon had come back from one of the courses, and he's saying, we need to speak to everybody. You need to speak to X, Y, and Z, and I'm saying, they've not got any money, but you don't know who has money and who hasn't. Some of the people that came with us in the very, very first couple of years are the people that maybe they don't advertise they've got money, they don't look like they've got money, they're just normal people like me and you. But they put all their trust in us and gave us what they had. And they see the benefits every year of it now, whether it be, we like to say to them, oh, that's another free holiday you've got, or you've just got your bathroom done. That never cost you a penny because it's just money you're getting back from us. But it is really surprising the amount of people out there that are losing money while it's sitting doing nothing.
Yeah.
Just speak to everyone.
It's at the beginning though, it can be hard to try and convince somebody to invest with you because you've got nothing to show them.
No track record.
Yeah. So I think that's a lot of the challenges that someone starting out will face. You know, why would somebody give you money? But you've got to be attractive, and what I mean by that is you need to have something there to show them. Now,
you've got to believe in yourself. Yeah. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will believe in you.
Yeah, but if you get a deal and you show them the deal, these are the figures involved in it, this is what we're looking for, would you be interested in that? And just let them digest it over a day or so. And if they're not, fine, move on, next, and just keep going. That's just one method that we raise money from as private investment. There's so many others that we leverage, which I think a lot of folks seem to think, I need to get a private investor. Not necessarily. You know, there's so many ways that we do leverage money.
It's exciting. I think the money side is actually the exciting part, because once you can get your head around the fact there's so much money out there, it doesn't hold you back and you can go shopping.
Yeah. You know, when we first started as well, it was actually really hard to get a solicitor that would accept investor funds or that would maybe write up some kind of contract for you to be taking this money from someone, because nobody had really done it, and nobody had really heard much about it. So it was like, oh, is this legal? Of course it's legal. But I always remember trying to get that one solicitor that knew what they were doing, but because we found someone that was investing in property at that point, they knew exactly what route we were going down. But it was tough to get someone.
I think you know yourself, there's some solicitors out there that are dinosaurs.
Yes.
They really are. And they'll say, well, why is Mr. X wanting to give you 100 grand? Why don't they just do it themselves? You've got to try and explain it all to these people. But,
so you are super prolific in your buying. In fact, Leanne just dropped before we went live on the recording that you've just bought another 5 in 1 week. So I think if we were to say 5 in 1 week to our listeners, they'd be like, what? That would blow their heads. I mean, in terms of numbers of transactions on a yearly basis, how do you target yourself for growing your business? Like, why are you still doing it today, if you like?
I still class myself in the growth period. I don't know if we'll ever come out of that growth period, because you're always wanting more and more and more. It's not our fault opportunities keep landing in front of us.
Do you know what? I've got a whiteboard in front of us just now, and the amount of times that this changes, because already this year is more than halfway through what this year's expectations are. Instead of sticking to what this year's expectations were, Barry-Jon will just increase it and make it go for even more. I'm saying, like, just slow down. I'm not slowing down. That's just the way it is.
It's funny, remember recently I showed you a bit of paper and a pad that I had from probably about 5, maybe 6 years ago. I had wrote down what we wanted to achieve that year. Seeing you look at it today,
it's small.
Like, that was shit. Can't believe we were thinking just to buy a couple compared to now.
Yeah, I know. It does blow people's heads when you can get that level of transaction through. I know we couldn't believe how small thinking we were, but that's the exciting part of this. You can just keep going and going and going. So the core strategies for you at the moment for this growth period that you're in?
Yeah, at the minute, sorry, we're still going after buy-to-lets, we're still doing flips, and we're also doing the service accommodation.
Yeah.
That's the 3 main strategies that we go after, and we pretty much just stay in lane with it. You know, we're not jumping here, there, and everywhere. We're just going after those.
Not even, sometimes they come after us. Like Barry-Jon wouldn't have social media if it wasn't for what we do, and the amount of deals, off-market flips we've had come to us through him just posting on social media. And I know it sounds a wee bit cliche and a wee bit, oh no, that wouldn't happen. It does. Especially, there's been quite a few on LinkedIn, hasn't there? Maybe people that's not really following them or anything, but they'll say, oh, I was in a customer's house today and they're really wanting to sell for X, Y, and Z. Can you speak to them?
Yeah.
But we never ever lowball, we never ever go in. We're not that type of people. We wouldn't go in and lowball someone to hurry up and sell their property. That's not the way we do it.
No, it's just about creating a solution. Yeah, you're creating a solution for both parties, like a win-win. You know, we're sure we can maybe buy it, but we need to buy it at the level that we think it's valued at. We're not. I know there's a lot of people out there. You might think, oh, they're just going to come in and buy it under market. That's not true. It's not true at all. We'll buy if we can add value somewhere. That's what attracts us to that deal. But it's like Leanne says, a lot of the off-market stuff comes through social media. We don't do any kind of marketing or paid ads or anything like that. It's all came through social media.
So what's been your most challenging deal to date so far?
I mean, this one just now that we're doing, that's fairly challenging. You know, that almost every few days there's another hurdle to smash through.
They keep changing the goalposts.
Yeah.
This is the one you're buying 5 in one hit.
Buying 5 at one time, yeah. I was actually quite disappointed whenever I bought the 6th one to avoid the ADS. But there's different challenges been thrown at it. Ask for different things, which any question we've been asked, we've been able to answer
Mhm.
straight away. You know, because we are, as soon as the email comes through, within the hour, they'll have the response. That's how proactive we are. If we want it to go as quickly as possible, and I don't want to be responsible for holding things up.
Mhm.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so what's been the most exciting deal, or the deal that you're most proud of once it was all finished?
Do you know what? See, over the years, you used to always get excited. Yes, I've got another one accepted. Yes, let's try and raise the money for it. You get the money raised for it. That's brilliant. You get a little bit of excitement from there. Now, it's just a case of, that's another one. We've raised that money from that. It's not, what's the right way? You're not up here anymore with them. That's just part of business, yeah. It's just so natural now. Almost every week or two, we're buying another property.
I love the flips when you go in and see them all finished. The flips are always obviously to a higher standard than what your buy-to-lets would be. And when you go in, when they're all finished, and then the staging gets done, you can picture yourself living there. You think, oh, if we never had the kids, this could be our wee flat, or this could be palm them off and we'll just move in. So I like the flips and seeing them all finished.
You don't regret ever selling them, because everything I ever sell, I regret selling. I'm like, I should have kept that. So the next 5 years, what does that look like for you two? What's it looking like? You can't even get past today, but next 5 years, what's the outlook looking like?
Do you know what? I can actually see it on the whiteboard.
I know, that's why I just went and done.
It's actually right in front of me.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Obviously, we're going to continue to buy. Once we probably get to a certain level, we might branch into different strategies, maybe possibly commercial, possibly abroad. Yeah, definitely.
Love it. Possibly commercial. Yeah, so that's my favorite at the moment, is a bit commercial. Yeah. So you've got very clear vision, and what is so clear to me is that the momentum that you've started even years ago is still there, and you're still out there. You're very, very active, proactive. You're on the ground, which you're then reaping the rewards from, because deals are coming to you. What do you think? So you've talked about social media there. In terms of the best channel for getting private investors or deals, how would you rank the channels that you use in terms of usefulness?
Do you know what? We still get LinkedIn. You get a lot of messages.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that's supposed to be more like a business Facebook, if you like, but people reach out to me on there, and they'll tell me they've got X amount of pounds, and they say, listen, can we meet up? I've seen what you do. You've been doing it a long time, and I'd love to potentially do something with you. Yeah.
So LinkedIn for the money side of things.
LinkedIn for money, even
and the off-market
stuff. Yeah, people reach out to us where I've never met them before. I'm not even friends with them or connected with them, but they'll reach out to say they know somebody selling this property. They see that we buy property, and can they put us in touch with them?
And what about the actual just word of mouth and you going to speak to people, because you're very personable, you're very easy to talk to, very straightforward. Are you still using those old techniques that were taught to you way back in the day? Get out there and talk to some strangers.
Do you know what? I'm not great at talking to strangers. I'm not great in new environments. But if somebody wants to talk to us about property or investment, I'm very confident when I'm talking. Mainly because I know what I'm saying. I know I'm not talking shit. Mm-hmm. Whereas maybe some people who are, maybe they're not telling the full truth, they can trip themselves up. Whereas with us, it's pretty much a spade's a spade. This is what we do. This is how we do it. Yeah. If you're interested, then we can talk further.
Yeah, we don't sugarcoat anything. When any troubles we've had, any hassle, we share that as well. Just to let people know that it isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Yeah. It's hard work and dedication.
So what would be the top tips you would give to someone who's thinking about getting into property? They maybe have no money, they don't really know where to start. What advice or top tips would you give that person?
do it. Educate yourself. Don't listen to everything on social media. Just do a wee bit of homework on whoever you're following.
Yeah.
Speak to them. Reach out to people and ask for advice.
Yeah.
Definitely ask for advice.
So just on that, with advice, it's important taking advice from the right people.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got an opinion. The amount of people that, way back at the beginning, when we first started, they would tell me things that, no, you can't do that, and why are you doing this? And I don't think that's even possible.
Yeah.
Seeing you think back to what they told me then, they're still in the same place that they were. And they weren't even qualified to give me that advice. But it's just human nature that people want to try and, I know they're only trying to help out and look after me.
Yeah.
I get that. But they had never done what I was looking to do.
I was one of the people. One of them. So if there is couples out there and ones want to do it and the other one's not, have a serious think about it, because I do wish that I got more involved earlier on.
That's it. And you can literally hear the commitment and the drive in everything that you're saying. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today, because it's a real inspirational story. What a journey you've been on, and to basically go from being on the tools to buying 5 properties in a week. I mean, that's not bad going, is it?
No.
You can be proud of yourself, right?
Yeah, it's going well, and we'll continue to go.
Good, brilliant. Well, have a great day. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.